Hello friends, welcome to our Linux series. I am Saurodeep. So let's start our today's class, that is Linux file system. As a developer, it's very important you should know the important folders of the Linux because it will help you to search for particular files, and if any issue occurred, you can debug that easily. So after this today's lesson, you will understand one, how Linux is structured. Two, you will know where important things live, for example logs, configs. And number three, where I should look for, that is the most important part. If any issue happens and you need to look for some particular files, you need to know in which folder you should look for. In a Linux there are many folders available, but as a developer you need to know 3 to 4 folders that are very important and that will be used 80% of the time. So we will focus mostly on that. So let's start. Before going forward, just wanted to tell some few points. Linux uses a hierarchical structure. It's like a tree-like structure, okay? And it's not like Windows. In Windows, we have different type of drives like C drive, D drive, right? But in Linux, it is not the concept. Everything starts from the root. Okay. So root is basically, you can think root as a home. Under that, everything will live. So let's take an analogy. Okay. Let's see. Suppose there is a company. Okay. We have one building right here. Let's say we have one building. This is a company. So in every company, employees will have their desk, right, where employee will sit and work. Okay, so this is the working place. Then there will be some admin room, right, where all the configuration of this office and everything is maintained. So think this as the admin room. There will be also CCTV that will monitor what is going on in the organization. And there will be some scrap room where some trash and scrap items will be stored. So this is the structure of a Linux file system. So as I told, everything will be under root. So this is the root. So this is the uppermost layer of a Linux. After this we can't proceed. Under this we will have a home folder. So what is home folder? Home folder is same like an disk, right? Or where our project, where the employee will work. So in this home folder, every project will live. etc. So what is etc? etc is like the admin room. So every configuration will be stored here. What is var? Under var there will be many folders, but mostly we will be interested for the log folder that will reside inside this var folder. So it's like a CCTV. So log will just track every records of your system or your application. And temp is basically that temporary area where what we use for some testing purpose or some scrap data we will store there. Apart from these 4 directories, there is another directory, bin directory. So that is for the binaries. Like suppose if you install some application in Linux, that will be stored there. But we will mostly focus on this 4 folder. So let's take a brief introduction for each of the folder. This is the root folder. This is the top level directory and everything starts here. Under this, everything will reside. Okay. We can't go above this root folder. Then we'll have a home folder. It contains user data. Our project or code will stay in this home folder. Then we have etc folder. So etc stores configuration file. For example, Nginx configuration, system settings, environment configuration, all this type of configuration will reside under this etc folder. So as a DevOps engineer, let me tell you one point. If something is misconfigured, you will have to come to this etc folder and check. Next is the var folder. So var basically means variable, okay, where data will change. And under this var we will have a log folder. This is a critical folder. It will store all the logs, okay. For example, system logs, your application logs, your error logs, everything will be stored under this log folder. So as a DevOps point of view and also as a developer's point of view, 80% debugging you will have to come under this log folder. And then we have this temp folder. These are for temporary files, okay? And it's auto clean sometimes, but not necessarily every time. And this is safe for testing and some scratch work, okay? So apart from this, let me give you another point for this etc and var folder. So etc folder is basically a static files, okay? Means that will rarely change, because any configuration file will not change regularly, right? But var folder, these are for dynamic data that is variable, that will constantly change. For example, the logs, it will constantly change based on your application performance. So let me give you some scenarios and let me tell you how to fix that. So for example, scenario 1, if any app cracks, where you would go? You will go to this var log folder. If your Nginx is not working, where you will go? You will go to this etc folder. And if you wanted to check your code, where you will go? You will go to this home folder. So I hope you have understood this different folder structure. Let's go into some practical now. So this is our Docker desktop. And I hope in the last class you have already installed the Docker desktop and also run our first Ubuntu image. So we'll use that same Ubuntu image. We'll go to the containers and we will start the container. Just click on this play button, this start button. Now this Ubuntu container is running. Now click on this container. Here you can go to files. See, inside these files you will see what are the different directories and files available in this Ubuntu image. So what are the different directories we have seen? That is this etc folder, right? Here all the configuration will live. See the configuration file. Configuration file .conf means the configuration file, okay? This configuration file will be inside the etc folder. Under this home folder, basically your application, if you build any React application or some any other application, that will reside inside this home folder. Then we have this temp folder, right? So currently there is no temporary or scrap files or folders, so that's why it's empty. Then this var folder. So under this var folder, the most important folder or directory will be this log. See, inside this log we have all types of log files will be available here, okay? So all your application logs will reside here in under this log folder, which is under var. So these are the different folders that are very much important. And apart from that, there will be some bin folder or file. So that is the binary. So if you install any software, that will reside there. So these are your tasks. So please complete this task and comment below. Where did you check logs if a server crashes? Where would you edit configuration? And where would your project code live? So please complete this and comment below. And these are the interview questions. What is Linux file system? What is the purpose of /etc? Where are logs stored in Linux? And difference between etc and var folder. You can comment below, and also you can comment in our Discord group. I will share this slide in the Discord group. And if anyone is not a part of Discord group, please join that Discord group. Thank you, friend. Happy learning.